Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. We're doing another video today on another DIY bridal hair, and this one is going to be the high updo that is very inspired by Kim K at the Met Gala this year, and like Pamela Anderson. This updo has just been very, very popular in both like the bridal world and just in the like hair world. It's a very popular hair trend right now, and I wanted to show you guys so that you could do it, especially for any like bridal event. I actually think this is the hair that I'm going to do for my bridal shower. This is definitely a way that you can do an updo with having super long hair, super thick hair. I have 22-inch extensions in my head right now, and I know that a lot of people sometimes struggle with doing updos either on themselves or getting them done when they have long thick hair. So I'm going to show you that it is very much so possible. It's just with, you know, doing it, going about it the right way. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. If you want to see any other like DIY bridal hair tutorials too, definitely let me know. But without further ado, let's get started. If you hear our air conditioning going on in the background, I'm sorry, but it is like 90 degrees here today, so I have to have it on in order to survive. So what you want to do first, get some type of like texture in it. You don't necessarily need to do a full curl if it wasn't already curled. This style will be better with, again, just like a little bit of wave or texture in it. And to do this, I just recommend grabbing whatever curling iron you want to use. So I would just recommend going in with whatever curling iron that you prefer to use. Honestly, I'm just going in with a 1.5 size barrel, 1.5 inch size barrel. Again, the reason why is because it doesn't need to be anything super curly. My extensions are really long right now too, so I just want something that'll just get them curled and curled quickly, because you just don't need to spend a lot of time in this part. Prep work, honestly, the dirtier the better. If you are getting this done professionally by a professional hairstylist, do whatever they tell you. If they tell you to have it clean so that they can make it super dirty themselves, do that. But if you're doing this on yourself just to save you the work, you definitely don't need to have it super clean. This is a more textured look, so with having more of that texture, that's kind of why the second day and third day curls would be really well for this. So we are going to tackle these guys differently, so because of that, I am going to go ahead and get them out of the way. So what I'm going to do is put my part in. I'm going to go ahead and get them isolated out now. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of drawing like a triangle. So I went back a couple inches, and I just drew like an angle that went from the furthest back point where you divide the updo from your front pieces. Draw a line from that dividing point, just a diagonal line, until you reach like your hairline, okay? So it's something like this. Just clip this back for now, and you're just gonna match the same thing on this side. So again, that dividing point, and then draw a diagonal line from that point until your hair meets the hairline. Make sure it's even. I need to grab a little bit more hair over here, so if that's the case, I'm just going to go back a little bit more, and that looks about right. So I'm kind of going like an inch or so up from like my temple, or match it with the tail of your brow, go like an inch up from there. These guys you can kind of style however you best see fit. I am going to do like a super fanned out curl later on. For the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to isolate these out for right now, just so that we can kind of just focus on one thing at a time. So what I am going to do for right now is I'm just going to clip these up. Now what you're going to do is you're going to grab a hair tie, and we are just going to gather our hair all the way up. You can make this slicked back if you want. I personally don't like when things are like super slicked back on me, but then the bun is like super messy, and I kind of like it either like it's all polished or it's all kind of like textury and messy. But what you can kind of do to kind of slick things back is, especially if you have like a borderline receding hairline like me, you see how like these areas kind of dip. What I do like to do is I will just kind of make sure that all the hair is flowing in the same spot. But besides that, I'm not gonna do any like slicking, and I just want to make sure that there are no, I don't know if the camera will show this, but there are just some like kind of like pockets where the hair kind of clumps together. I don't want that either because you don't want this to look like you threw this together yourself. So I'm making sure all of like the kinks and stuff are smooth, but I'm not slicking it, if that makes sense. We want it smooth and intentionally messy, but we don't want it like bumpy and rough. So you kind of want to gather your hair up pretty high. I kind of base mine off of like the highest point of the head. That's normally a good universal spot to base it off of too, but you can put this wherever. Normally, if you want it to be high but not too high, again, at the highest point of the head is normally a good place to start. And what we're just going to do is we are just going to put this in a ponytail, okay? And tighten it. And we can mess around with the messiness of this later. I like to start this out in a ponytail, especially for my long or thick haired girlies. Like again, I have 22-inch extensions. I love me a good updo, but that's what I have to be careful with my extensions is I don't want this to be really heavy. My head gets really like sensitive when I can tell it's like super heavy. So this hair tie is going to act as a good base. You are experienced in doing your own updo, or if you don't have a lot of thick hair, you can kind of skip this part, but I always recommend when you're doing an updo, you have to have something be the base. I even do that when I am doing professional updos on people, and for me, I am making my hair tie the base. Brush everything out, make sure everything is nice and all smooth. Now what we're going to do is we're going to split our little ponytail up in half. Okay. And with one side, you're going to go in with an elastic. What we're going to do is like what I call like a floppy bun. So have it close to the ponytail base. Make sure you kick any stragglers on the other side out of the way. You're acting like you're tying your hair up in a ponytail. However, the second time you do, just stop it halfway. And you're literally just going to do the exact same on the other side. And I would just wrap it around once. Definitely giving Mickey Mouse. But okay, what you're going to do now is you are going to open up one part of your bun. Try to make it that you can see the inside of the bun. Okay, you're going to move this. I feel like we can't see. I'm going to bring you guys down a little bit. Hold on one second. Going over this again, you want to make sure when you split this open, try to make it that you can see the inside of your bun. Okay, so it should be like really hollow. I find it best to like kind of like put my hand through that just so I know that that's like good, and then I will go in and grab the other mini bun. Like I would just make sure it's grabbed all together. You don't need to make it like hollow or anything like I did with the other side. And then you're going to pull that over, and then that kind of like leaves that super like wrapped effect. And now what we just get to do is we get to pin this in place. So I'm actually like holding this pretty taut right now because again, since this is like a lot of hair, when I let it go, it just kind of like falls to the back. So if you have long hair, again, I would more so like make sure that this is all placed where you want it to be, and then I would start pinning. I would just start from like the sides and the front. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to take care of this like back highest area the most first, just because that seems to be what kind of wants to kind of like move around a lot. So right now I'm just kind of controlling it. I'm just going to kind of like work my way all around. This is like the fun part where you can kind of just base it off of like what you like the best and what fits your style the best. This is one of those buns and updos that it's gonna look different like every time, just because it really will just depend on like how your hair is behaving that day and exactly how the bun is. I don't know if anyone else remembers like doing messy buns in high school or junior high and getting so like frustrated because you want it to like look the exact same every time. You know, like me and my friends are like that. And then you have these like little tails in the back from the leftover of the floppy bun. What I do is I'm going to kind of take a look at them in the back, but you're just going to take a look at them. I want like a little bit of a tail in the back. I just think that it's like really cute, but I don't want it to look like awkward. So something you can do is if you want hair hanging out in the back, but you just don't want like you don't want it super thick like this, grab a little bit of it. Just go a little bit down. Don't go all the way down to the ends, but just go down a little bit and push this up and pin that area in place where you have your fingers pinch. just kind of go from there. And it leaves it like messy and undone, but still with like some structure in it too. So the first thing that you want is you do want a little bit of volume here, right? Go ahead and put your part back in. My Widow's Peak girlies, these middle parts will be the end of us, I swear. What I'm going to do first before I curl is I'm going to throw a roller in here really quick. Get the biggest one that you have, or what you can do if you don't have a roller is you can roll this yourself. What I'm going to do is I'm literally just going to use my curling iron just because that's what I have turned on. You can use your flat iron too. You're just going to run the iron through your hair really quick just to get it warmed up. And then I am going to use my roller and have it set here just to, again, I just want to get a little bit of volume in. Don't use a small one because that's going to give it a little bit of like a wonky curl, and we don't want a curl, we just want volume. And again, just get this warmed up a little bit. It's really just so we can use our roller. If you're using a roller, make sure you have a lot of tension when you're rolling this. I'm just gonna let this cool down for a couple minutes. So it hasn't been very long, but I'm gonna go ahead and take this roller out. Again, this is kind of why I would prefer to do this before you do the updo, just so it has a little bit more time to like kind of fall. But you see it already kind of helped to give us some volume. And then what we're gonna do is you're gonna curl everything away from your face. I'm gonna show you guys really quick with this iron now that it's off. So what you're going to do is I'm going to move this all the way over, not just to the middle, but I'm going to move it all the way over to the opposite side. Curl the hair as normal. I'm going to let a little bit of the ends out, just because I do want them to be like kind of straight towards the ends. And then when you let that go, what it does is that's what gives you that like front like swoop with that curl that will like kind of come in and like kind of hug your face. Something like this. So hold this for a couple seconds. Right now I'm leaving about 1.5 inches out. Go down just a little bit more. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this, hold this, drop it, and then curve this under ever so slightly. And I curled that actually a little bit too much on the end, so I'm going to pull this straight. And then you don't want to waste too much time. You want to go ahead and get this other side curled really quick. Again, do the same thing. Curl it under. And then what you're going to do with that clip is you're going to grab these pieces together, and right before the hair starts to curl, you're going to hold that. Yes, you have hair in your face now, but you'll live. And you're just gonna hold everything here until everything like kind of cools down. And since it's on your forehead, I feel so weird talking to you guys like this, but since this is on your forehead, you'll be able to kind of feel it. You'll want to make sure that the entire curl is all cooled down. It's probably been about like 5 minutes or so, so you can go ahead and take this out. Okay, so before you actually go in and like take this curl out, what I want to do is we're going to lift up this hair, and right where the hair starts to curl, let it kind of fall a little bit, and we're going to spray some texture spray right in there on both sides. Do the same thing on this side where this hair curls. Having the texture spray down and spraying at an upwards angle helps to kind of like add in that lift. And what we're just going to kind of do is I'm going in with my fingers and I'm just pinching and like slightly pulling this out. Using your brush and brushing down and then kind of like going out and away from your face like this kind of helps to like position the curl. Okay, and that is it. That is how you can get the Kim K Met Gala Pamela Anderson inspired high messy bun, and how you can make a bridal. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them down in the comments below, or you can always reach out to me on Instagram. I love to connect with you guys on there. And yeah, other than that, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.